My name is Matthew Chung. I just started my third year as an undergrad at UC Riverside, and this lightning talk kind of covers work I did over the summer with the Parsl team as part of like an internship opportunity, and as part of my submission to SC24's student research competition. And this proposal was accepted. So here we go. Um, so the title of my presentation is Seesaw, which is covers elastic scaling for task-based distributed programs. In our case, most of the work I did was on Parsl specifically. Um, and so let's discuss the current implementation. So the work I did was focused around the high throughput executor, and specifically the interchange and how it handles task distribution. So currently, the current implementation or the original implementation was random selection from the list of ready managers, or basically available nodes and places where you can send tasks. So it was a standard FIFO queue for the tasks, and um, the the current implementation does really well with workload distribution. In testing, we were able to see a very balanced distribution across the different blocks and across the different workers. But this causes a problem when it comes to the scaling behavior, which does exist. So Parcel's very good at scaling up. And as long as there's like resources available and as long as the user specifies that there can be resources to be used, it can scale up. But the problem is once it scales up, it can't scale down, which causes a problem when it comes to resource utilization and saving costs on your workloads. So the updated implementation used two queues for tasks. One would be for a priority runtime based queue. So this required some labeling of tasks ahead of time, and the other one was just a standard queue. So the priority queue, due to its like uh, worse runtime complexity, for picking out tasks would be smaller and would only handle tasks above a certain threshold in terms of runtime. That could be user specified. And in conjunction with this, we also sorted the list of ready nodes to basically prioritize nodes that came online more recently, and to let older nodes basically expire and to be deprovisioned. Um, so this had some benefits, which we'll see later, which is improved scaling behavior and higher resource utilization. So the testing methodology behind this was I tested two different workloads, a Cholesky factorization and a synthetic workload. So the Cholesky factorization workload was representative of a data flow based workload. There's basically tasks come in throughout the runtime of the workflow. So there's spikes in tasks, and as work gets done, more tasks will be spawned due to like dependencies and whatnot. And this is run through the TAPS benchmarking suite, which is designed and managed by Greg. If he's in the room somewhere, huge shout out. And the synthetic workload was a representation of a bag of tasks workload, which I ran 3,000 sleep tasks with randomly generated runtimes between 0 and 140 seconds. The distribution is a log normal right skew distribution. I'll put up a picture of that shortly. The Cholesky results look like this for the original implementation, where you can see here that the the different pilots or blocks as they come online, they initially have high utilization, but it just goes to meandering throughout very very mid and very like it's not 100% utilized at all like once it gets started. And this is a problem because you're burning through compute resources as this goes on. So next we'll see like Seesaw's implementation. As the as new blocks come online, they're prioritized and get tasks. So older blocks will just receive zero tasks, and as soon as their work is done, they can be deprovisioned immediately. And this leads to a lot of savings in terms of utilization and compute resource usage. So here's a distribution of the synthetic workload. As you can see, most of the tasks are between 0 and 40 seconds. So it's modeled after a paper which discusses the like tail end problem, which is basically you have a couple of tasks that take a long time and those can hold up the time to solution. To solve this, we labeled some of the tasks. I labeled varying amounts of tasks and to varying degrees of accuracy. So in the so you can see that random scheduling has a very long time to solution on average, um, due to the tail and like the longer tasks being put at the end of the workload. Because there's a very high utilization at the beginning, but once there's only like a couple of tasks running that just holds up the entire thing. But when you sort it, you see a lot better time to solution, but the utilization remains primarily the same. So for the Cholesky factorization, um, we did see a significant improvement in the ability to scale down, similar time to solution as the random distribution, reduction in compute resource usage, and increase in utilization. Node for the synthetic one, then sorting the blocks and the nodes does not have much effect because the workload is running at almost 100% utilization the entire thing. Over the course of those, the utilization kind of was between 90 and 100% basically, for all different experiments, including the random one and Seesaw's implementation. But the time to solution does increase. Time to solution does increase, and as said before, utilization remains high. And so the next steps is a more modular task labeling system because there are a wildly different amount of workloads. And it's kind of, we can make it up to the user, give the user more control on how they want to label their tasks. And that is what we're aiming for in the future to be integrated with the Parsl code base. I want to try working with other different types of workloads to see how Seesaw performs. And when this is all done, there'll be a guide and documentation update that includes like the whole shebang for all the new features. And that was kind of quick, but thank you for listening.